We are live, Jenny. We are live.
All right.
Okay, so here comes the intro. You're listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Grow Clinton is a 501c6 nonprofit economic community development and tourism organization based in Clinton, Iowa. For more information, visit growclinton.com. Again, that's growclinton.com. Now, back to the show. What's happening, all you amazing listeners out there in podcast land? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the one, the only. You love it. You know where to find it, folks. Everywhere. That's where. The Grow Clinton podcast, brought to you by Grow Clinton, a small nonprofit organization on the eastern edge of the great state of Iowa, right along the mighty Mississippi River. We focus on economic development, community development, and tourism. As always, I am your host, Andy Sokolovich, President and CEO of Grow Clinton, joined in the studio by our Director of Member and Community Relations, Jenny Holm. Jenny, what's happening?
I'm really happy because I've been going out this morning or this afternoon to do some retention visits, but I'm also taking our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've gone into a couple of places today and I see these everywhere.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you want one, we got some sweet Grow Clinton podcast window clings. They're small. They're only like 3 inches in diameter, but that's nice because they're a cling.
Yeah.
So it just sticks right to the window of your front door. You don't have to worry about scraping off that nasty residue.
Right. People are excited about that.
Yeah, it's neat. We'll drop one off. Easy peasy. Yep. We got sponsors, Jenny.
Okay.
Citizens First Bank proudly sponsors this mic check, as well as the brand new microphones in the studio. The bank that's always in tune with our community. Find them at gocfb.bank for all of your banking needs. Banking as it should be with Citizens First Bank. Member FDIC, AgCraft Printwear, Sully Sports. AgCraft's been in the custom apparel game since 1974. Over the years, AgCraft has grown from a small family-run operation, really just focusing on the Clinton community, to now a cutting-edge business providing top-notch customized printwear to teams and companies all across the United States. For all your custom printwear needs, agcraftusa.com. SullysSports.com. Again, that's Sully's, Sullys, sports.com. Brand new retail location right here in Clinton. Everything you need from a sporting goods standpoint, even some great swag. They have the Hawkadelic Iowa Hawkeyes line that you can get there and exclusively there.
Yep.
And then you can also pick up some really cool gear. And I'm telling you, what you need to do is become a part of the Sully's Shirts Club. That's right, folks. I pay $24.99 per month. Every month, I get an exclusive t-shirt to just club members, plus 10% off everything in the store.
Big coming with all the baseball stuff.
Yeah,
that's
stuff's
coming.
expensive, folks. Take advantage of it. 10%. Can't beat it. Miles Communications, the OG sponsor of this podcast, hooking us up with wicked fast, high-speed internet. If you need some high-speed internet, television, telephone services to meet your home or company's communication demands, look no further than milestelephone.com. If they're not in your neck of the woods, they are on their way, folks. Just be patient. LyondellBasell, Clinton Complex. They produce plastic resins, high-density, low-density polyethylene type, used to create a variety of products, including household and industrial bottles, pressure pipes, kayaks, food packaging, outdoor durable goods, milk jugs, roofing materials, and toys. That's right. If it's plastic, chances are pretty good that it came from the Clinton area. LYB is committed to being a responsible, engaged neighbor in the communities where it operates through volunteerism, charitable giving, and partnerships with local organizations. Lyondell aims to strengthen communities by supporting education, sustainability, and safety initiatives. LyondellBasell, solutions for a better tomorrow. Great show today, Jenny.
You know, this is another time that we've had community hero here.
Community hero, no doubt.
Yes.
Everybody knows you. You've been around the circuit here to all the civic groups. I've heard you speak several times. And every time I hear you speak, it just makes me fall in love more and more with your organization. And that is My G.E.A.R Outreach. In the studio, we have Liz Estilow, the founder of My G.E.A.R Outreach. And now you run a nonprofit that's very successful in its mission to support those children that are going through the foster care system. Liz, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So Liz, tell us a little bit about My G.E.A.R Outreach. For those that don't know, what is it? When did you start it? And how's it going?
All right. So I started 10 years ago here in Clinton County.
Wow, 10 already.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We've expanded to 9 counties.
Wow.
We're
Whoa.
thinking about expanding north, but we're working on that. Another 7 counties. But what we do is we provide overnight duffel bags to kiddos going into foster, adoptive, or kinship care. Most kids, when they are removed, it's an emergency removal, and a lot of times they come with nothing or very few things in black garbage bags. And we're going to stop that. We're going to make sure that every child enters care with dignity, and everything they have not only blesses the child, but it helps out the foster parent, because they never know what age or gender they're going to get, and they can't be prepared for everything. So we make sure that we have everything that
Yeah.
they need.
You told me before we went on air here that for a kinship placement, there's something very important, and you've partnered with somebody who's helping you out with that.
We have Rob Shoemake here in town. Very talented gentleman and so nice. He has started making our beds for us.
Right.
We
Oh,
are
that's
spending
awesome.
a lot of money on beds. It is a requirement if the children are removed from HHS to go live with grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, older sibling, that they have a bed of their own. So I think we've done 7 so far.
So no couch, no floor.
No couch, no blow up mattress doesn't count. So we want to make sure that we want, so the kids don't have to enter foster care, that they get to stay with their family. And so we'll give them a bed, mattress, and all their bedding. So brand new stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it's been exciting. It's been a nice partnership, and I think Rob's enjoyed it so far. And his community, church community group has sealed the beds, to make sure that they're good and all that good stuff, and put them together, and we just deliver them and have fun.
The kids probably feel pretty special too.
It's been great. It
Yeah.
really is. A lot of these kids are coming from horrible, traumatic, not so much fun situations, and it's something to celebrate. It's something to look
Yeah.
forward to, and it's just really neat to be a part of.
Right.
Now, Liz, obviously you started My G.E.A.R outreach because you recognized a need. What is the local need like here in the Clinton area? Now you serve multiple counties, but specifically Clinton. And what ages do you serve?
The need here in Clinton County is we're well supported. We have an outstanding community here. We are well supported here. What we really need here in Clinton is more foster. So
What's the process?
the process is you need to be 21 years of age. It does not matter if you're married, cohabitating, just boyfriend, girlfriend, same-sex relationship, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you own or rent a home. You can live in an apartment. You can live in a trailer. You can live in a condo. It doesn't matter. You have to fill out some paperwork. You visit iowafosterandadoption.org. You fill out a little inquiry. You do an hour orientation class from a Zoom inside your own house every Wednesday and Sunday night at 8:00. And then you fill out more paperwork, and then a background check. And once that is cleared, we put you in classes. The state of Iowa is doing some changes in how those classes are going to look, but right now they meet one night a week for 11 weeks. Lots of information. People are like, oh, that's so long. And I'm like, it's really not. It flies by.
Right.
And then you get a community of new families also that you kind of get to go through the process with. And then we'll normally give you a call even before your license signature's dry of kids that are going into care that need homes. So we really need some homes in Clinton County.
Liz, what is some myth versus fact about becoming a foster parent? What do you perceive to be the biggest reason that individuals choose not to foster? And maybe there's some preconceived notions that are not accurate.
I think my biggest complaint, it's not a complaint. My biggest thing I hear is I'll get too attached. I'll get too attached, and I don't want to give
I
them
can
up.
see that.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But I want to throw that back at you is we need you. They need you to get attached. Most of these kids don't have a huge support. They don't have a village. They don't have this huge support
Right.
network of people. A lot of families are single families. And a lot of them are just consisting of mom. So if you can offer that child some stability, some love, some structure, you're a big support to them. They need you to get attached to them. And then I can't tell you how many foster parents, even after the child goes home, because reunification is always a goal. We want bio family to get healthy. We want them to go back home. They do better.
Yeah.
Statistically, their graduation rates are higher. More attend college that way. Less are arrested or have any kind of delinquent issues if they can go back home to a healthy family. And then I know foster families that still their past foster children will reach out for birthdays and holidays. And so it's a lifelong connection you're making with these kids.
And there's no like set amount of time that they're in a foster situation.
Typically no less than 6 months.
Okay.
6 months to a year. That's usually what it takes. The court gives them biofamily to get healthy, because it doesn't happen overnight. There's, whether those are, mental health that they need to get under control, if they need to take some rehab classes for drugs or alcohol, or if there's domestic abuse, those kind of things. So it takes some time.
Right.
And we say 6 months, minimum 6 months to a year. The younger the child, the shorter the courts will give biofamilies, because they want that child settled into a family. They don't want this lingering. And the older children, sometimes can be a little longer. And sometimes biofamily doesn't get healthy. In my situation, my family didn't get healthy, and I'm raising my nephew, and he will be with me as long as he wants to be, at least till he's 18, but as long as he wants to. So sometimes it doesn't happen.
So if you foster a child and they return to their biological family and it does not work out and they need to re-enter the foster care system, does the family that fostered them before get like an opportunity?
They can.
First crack?
Absolutely. As long as their home's not full. Because, because in the meanwhile, they might have taken a few other kids in the home, and you're only licensed for so many kids, because it has to do with how many bedrooms you have. It has a spacing, the Iowa has a law of how much space you have to have in your home. But yeah, absolutely. If we know that a child did well in a foster home and they're back, unfortunately, into the system, we'll definitely want to reach out and get them placed with that same family that they did well with. And that way it's not a new household. They already know the routines. They already know where their bedrooms
I would
at.
think the transition would be a lot easier.
Oh,
for the
heck
child.
yeah.
Right.
Yep. And in Iowa, we were talking earlier that we have the Families First Act, that when a child is removed, they always look for kinship relationship. So they're always going to look for grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, someone that they have a blood relationship with, that for that child. That's that's how I got my niece and my nephew at the time, because I was blood relative. If they can't find that, they'll look for a fictive kin. So that will be someone that's not blood but still a relationship. Parents and teachers make wonderful foster parents. They've already got a relationship with the child. So a lot of times they'll be placed there. Maybe a Sunday school teacher, pastors have taken in kids before. And then if those can't be found, then we look at foster homes. We want the child to stay with someone in the community that they're comfortable with and that they know, compared to just putting them with a stranger.
So what are the ages? I'm sorry, Jenny. Is it birth to adult?
Absolutely. Straight out of the hospital. We'll have foster families, especially with babies that are in the NICU, that our foster families will go visit the babies and establish relationship before they're removed. And then all the way up to the age of 18. And then kids actually, once they've aged out at 18, they actually can sign themselves back in for a couple more years to help with college, with apartments. There's a lot more state support if they stay in the system past 18.
Just to learn those basic life skills that may have been lost on you through the development process of
in the transition of different school systems and stuff like that. And again, a lot of our kids that are aging out of the system don't have grandma and grandpa and uncle, so they're starting from square one with not a lot of adult experience. So we really, unfortunately, at 18, a lot of kids think they know everything, and they said, and they're done with the system, and they want nothing to do with them, and they sign themselves out. I think there's a 6 months or 9 month period that they can sign themselves back in.
I need to come back in.
Yeah, and we want them to, though, because the state has so many. They can help them with college. They help them with housing. They help them with Medicaid. I mean, there's so many more that we can just kind of I know you still have to have a social worker check in on you, and you're, but it's so much better in the long run for you, just to get you those life skills.
So what's typically in, I know that you started out with a different kind of gear, and now
you brought one, right?
Yes.
I don't know if we can see it. Jenny, can you try?
I know it's big. So this is what we started with 10 years ago. These are
just show it. There you go. Good enough. You can sit down now and exhale.
And they're like $300 now. I mean, there's
so $300 for the bag and all the contents.
Yeah, it's a great duffel bag that stores. We've had 2 kiddos take their duffel bags to Kirkwood College in the 10 years, which I think is amazing. There could have been more, but I know at least 2. That all their toiletries are in there, a new pillow, new blankets, water bottle, night light, pajamas, underwear, socks, tons and tons of toys, age appropriate toys, crayons, markers, colors, you name it, we put in there. It's just, we want them to have the basics, but we do other things too besides the bag. And we'll do
Right.
ethnic bags too, though. If we've got African American kids in there. My daughter, she's mixed, and her hair, the amount of money I spend on her hair
Yeah.
is insane.
Mhm.
But we want to make sure that those kids, African American girls have what they need for hair care. So we'll do bags just for them. But we have expanded so much besides the
Yes.
bags. We'll do adoption celebration bags now. We just had one in Jackson County and one in Dubuque today. So they're about $75, and it's just a time to celebrate this.
What's in it?
Anything. Well, I just buy tons and tons of toys. It usually comes
Oh.
with a brand new blanket, and then it's just toys. It's usually a stuffed animal, but again, age appropriate, because we've got kiddos from 18 months to 18 years of age being adopted.
Wow.
So I really kind of just tell me the gender, tell me the age. Everything's done confidential, so I don't know a lot, and then tell me what they like, because I want it to be a bag and stuff that they are into.
Yeah.
Personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do a happy birthday bag. So if we've got a foster kid that's in the system and their birthday's coming up, foster parents can just reach out to me, and we spend about $50, $60 and just buy, again, whatever the kid wants for their birthday. We do apartment in a suitcase. We team up with this CPPC. They donate $250. We match that $250.
What is that, CPPC?
Oh, don't ask me that.
Is it another nonprofit?
It's based. We have got them, Clinton and Scott. It's the Gwen Deming is going to hurt me. I don't remember.
It's a community support
partnership of
organization.
something.
Sure.
Yeah, they're funded through the state.
Yes. Okay.
But they're a great organization, and they team up a lot of just nonprofits. But they the kids can go shopping. Typically, I'm still buying beds with my $250, which is just funny, because kids, when they're on their own, they want a queen size, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
they want out of that twin bed. So we do that. We are teaming up with the Punch Group, which is a group of 9 churches down in Davenport. This is our second year to host graduation parties for our kids. Last year we had 8 kids, 1 from Clinton County. This year we have 18 kids graduating. We have 3 from Clinton County. So I soon will have Hope City Church has donated the bulk of what the kids are going to want for their 3 wish list. But they'll have extra stuff on their wish list, and I will be posting that probably on My G.E.A.R's Facebook page, that if local people want to help support these kids. Foster kids have a 52 to 58% percentage of graduating high school. So these kids, we want to celebrate these kids, because they're doing something that
Huge accomplishment.
And they might not otherwise have a party.
No, these kids would not have a party. These kids are, they're not in adoptive homes. They're just, they're going to age out of foster care. And we have the party down at the center down in Davenport. It's just for 1 hour, but every kid gets their own table, and the community, there's cupcakes that are donated, and it's a true.
Be sure to send us information
Yeah.
on that, because
And
that's
that's
something I
so
really like
cool.
doing.
Yeah,
too.
and we've got 3 of them this year, and when I say Clinton County, they're all 3 from Clinton, so that's amazing. And
Yeah.
again, I think we take for granted what we give our kids and
Yeah.
their
Oh,
experiences.
you have
And
no idea.
Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time. I love, I'm very, my kids go to Prince of Peace, and one of the things I really do enjoy about that school is that, they have to get student hours volunteering. And I always make sure, or I try to, that it's not like with us here at Grow Clinton, my daughter coming and hanging out, and then, signing off on her. I want them to experience what it's like working with their peers, really, their children the same age, and compare what they have at home versus what some of these other children have, and just be very thankful, but also take into consideration that what we're giving you is an opportunity to give back as well. So let's talk about that. I heard you say purchase, buy, shop. That takes money, right, Liz? So how are you
we
doing
go through
this?
a lot of money.
Now, what does it take to run My G.E.A.R outreach?
A lot. I pray a lot. No, God is good.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of money. I don't have I work full time at another place.
Yeah.
And so, and I've got 3 teenagers. So, it's just donations. We are very thankful for those monthly supporters that just, support us every month. Hey, if you got any extra grant writers on hand, to write me a couple
We
grants.
do. We have
Yeah.
a pretty slick one by the name of Matt
We
Parbs. He's
do.
good. I'm
But
not
yeah,
joking either. He's
he's
very
good.
talented.
So yeah, and just, if you've got a place of business, if you've got a place of worship that would like me to come and talk and let them know, nobody talks about foster care. Nobody wants to talk about foster care. It's you think about kids that are true orphans, that truly are homeless and don't have anywhere to go. it pulls on those heartstrings that people don't want to think about. So we really just want people to know that we have kids in foster care in every single school building in Clinton County. So this is not just an anomaly that happens one place and doesn't happen at another. So when you donate to My G.E.A.R, your money is going straight back into our community. It's supporting kids that need support, and that these are our next generation, and they need to know that, hey, I came from this town and this town supported me and I had everything I needed because when, I asked, it came.
So if somebody just wants, I don't need somebody to talk to me. I just want to give, how do you go about that?
My contact, most people get a hold of me on my Facebook account.
Okay.
My G.E.A.R is pretty active on Facebook. We always post when our kids go into care, so people are well aware of how often it happens.
Good.
That's how I first found out about it.
Is it?
Yeah,
a long time, right after you started it, actually.
Yeah.
So what does the post look like? I mean, you can follow My G.E.A.R.
Yeah, and I will always say, please pray for, we just had, how many kids? We just had 3 Scott County kids go in. I always just post her, hey, we had 2 Whiteside County kids go in. We've had 1, just making people aware of the situation. You can, on our Facebook, we have a website or a web page, mygearoutreach.org. And then you can donate. We've got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, our PO box is 3153. You can drop me off a check at the post office.
Okay. So now I had a question. Here it is. You mentioned to me, I've almost lost it.
I hate when I blame my age all the time.
All the time. All the time. I didn't know this, and I'm ashamed of myself because I didn't know this before we talked before the podcast, that some of the kids who go in, we have such a shortage of foster parents in Clinton County that they get placed outside of Clinton County that might be 3 hours away.
Yeah, it happens. It happens more times than I would like to admit. Just because I feel like I breathe, eat, and sleep foster care, that I can't get enough friends, family members, to become a foster parent.
Right.
It's not for everybody, and I understand that. But if it's your calling, there's no better time than right now. Because when you talk about a kid being removed from home and not being placed in their community, they're leaving school, they're leaving their neighborhood, they could be leaving all their sports, they could be leaving boyfriend and girlfriends or leaving friends. It also makes reunification extremely hard.
Yes.
You want to talk about someone placed from Clinton County placed into Polk County, that's 3 hours away.
Yeah.
We're talking Des Moines. So now when a judge has ordered 3 visits a week face-to-face with parents,
how?
One, does that parent have a reliable transportation?
Yeah.
Can they be away from work that many hours to drive 3 hours, spend two hours with a kid, drive 3 hours back home? The state, we don't have enough caseworkers, to provide rides. We don't have enough workers that can donate 8 hours 3 times a week just for 1 or 2 kids. It doesn't happen. So reunification doesn't happen. But that's also hard on kids when they can't touch mom and dad.
Right.
Maybe the teenagers are fine with Zoom calls and phone calls and text messaging, but you talk a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old or, younger, they want to sit on mom and dad's lap and give hugs and, snuggles and all those things. So it's really hard on the kids.
So let's say you wanted,
you're going to sign up. Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay. Receive. I don't know. This is my question. As a foster parent, and this sounds silly, but what if you say, okay, I'm really good with toddlers?
Oh, absolutely. And I did not say that. You can pick and choose the age. You can, if you have a girl house and all you want is girls, you can just have girls. If you're really good with teenagers, we'll give you just teenagers.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, it's not to say we won't call you and try to give you some kids that maybe not on your list, but we definitely will. If you just want infants, we've got our nurses make wonderful foster parents for our kids with medical needs. We've got kids that have medical needs, or maybe you have some really good experience working with autistic kids. We have a lot of autistic kids that come into care, and we would love to put you with kids that you're qualified to take care of. So absolutely, we want you to be comfortable, and we want it to be a good match. We want that first foster home to be their only foster home, because it is. If they have to leave your house, then that's more trauma upon more trauma. And we don't want to do that to kids. We want to love on kids and we want to support them.
And a lot of times I would think that they already have their routine kind of ironed out. I mean, when you get them, they have to go to school. They already have maybe a routine.
Oh, absolutely. And that's again why it's so important to have open homes and the community that the child,
Yeah.
you know, because I talk to a lot of adults all the time because, you know, we have to give a lot of grace to kids in foster care.
Yes.
Because you talk about a removal. So their world just absolutely fell apart. You know, mom and dad will always be mom and dad, and they'll always love mom and dad. And sometimes the younger ones have no idea even what mom and dad did, like
Right.
what's going on. All they know is they don't get to go home. But now this next morning, they're expected to get dressed and go to school like nothing happened.
Adults can't do stuff like that.
We can't
Yeah.
do that. We, you know, let's say your husband just filed for divorce. Go to work the next
Yeah.
day. I mean,
Go have fun today.
there's
Yeah.
stresses that we can't handle,
Right.
let alone their little brains. So they're
Aw.
going to have behaviors that may come out in really weird ways just because their world just blew up, and now they're back in school and all their friends are acting like nothing just happened.
And they don't know.
You know,
Right.
so, and then two foster kids or kids that are in foster care. I hate to call foster kids who are in foster care.
Right.
They also have, you know, they might be working, they might have to meet with a social worker at the night. They might have to meet with their G.E.A.R, which is their court appointed attorney. They might have visits with mom and dad. So I'm sorry that your 2 hours of, you know, algebra homework didn't get done and handed in. I don't know who the teacher is here in Clinton, but you know, like teachers have to understand that you've got to give them grace because there's just things that you only can do so much after school anyway. And their mental load is just overwhelming, let alone doing
I can't
that
imagine.
So,
Well, I've been excited to hear that schools are going away from the homework. And there's people out there like, well, I don't need to have homework, but you don't know what that child's life is like after school.
Right.
Maybe they have a job. Maybe they have to provide financially for the house.
Right.
And, you know, they don't have time to sit down and do all this work. I mean, they're studying, they're doing well, but why give them very complicated work to take home?
Right.
That's going to require them to sit there for, like you said, 90 to 120 minutes to knock out a paper that probably isn't going to make a huge impact in there.
No.
When I was in high school, I had to work, and I worked, you know, got out of school, open campus, I'd work 1 to 10 at night, and then I had to do homework after that, and I'd be up until like 1 a.m. trying to get my homework done and just exhausted. It was just a cycle. I cannot imagine being in a situation where my whole life has blown up and I'm, you know, getting and being a kid, a little kid, and having to deal with that.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we're talking to Liz Estilow from My G.E.A.R Outreach. I did post your Facebook page in the chat. It is facebook.com/My G.E.A.R Outreach. Very easy to find. The website, again, is mygearoutreach.org. And you can reach her on, what's your number here? 703-201-7584. Very cool. Easy peasy. Got an email address, everything in one convenient space.
I try.
I love what you've been able to do. And, you know, my call to action to our listeners is very simple. Donate, host a fundraiser or a drive, volunteer, share the information that My G.E.A.R Outreach puts out to your audience and your network. And if you have the capability to do so and the desire, become a foster parent. But, you know, we here at Grow Clinton support a lot of nonprofits and helping them share what they're doing within the community. As a nonprofit ourselves, we don't have deep financial pockets to ensure everybody's successful forever. However, when we have the opportunity to give back, usually it's helping to promote that message and ensure that they can reach a broader audience, much cheaper than hiring a marketing firm, guaranteed. So, you know, you do great work. I couldn't even imagine, you know, I just, sometimes you sit back and you reflect. One of my good buddies in the military went through the foster care system, and he was an African-American male, and we were in basic training together. And you talk about the different care needs from a hair perspective. And that's what I loved about the military. I loved the cultural diversity. I loved the different ethnicities and stuff. I really just enjoyed that. I miss it a lot. But he would wear a do-rag to sleep to keep his hair pressed down because, like, when we all went through the line, zzz, 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 buzz, it's a lot different for me than it was for him.
Yeah.
They can't take a pair of clippers through his hair. So he had to keep it pushed down. One day he yells at me and they call me Soko. He said, "Hey, Soko, you want a do-rag?" I was like, "Yeah, man." So he throws one in the bunk up to me and I put it on my head. And of course, 2 a.m. the door opens and we hear boots on the hallway. Lights come on, trash cans go flying, bunks are being flipped. It's our drill instructor coming in and just messing with us as they did every night. And there I stood at the position of attention. Andy Sokolovich, Caucasian male,
Do-rag.
right next to my bud, both sporting a do-rag. And he said, he called me Alphabet, the drill instructor. Said, Alphabet, what's on your head? And I said, it's a do-rag, Sergeant. And he was like, oh, what? A do-rag. And he started laughing and just like broke all composure, because he was supposed to be big, scary drill sergeant that night. But he thought that was hilarious that I was rocking one of those do-rags. And it served zero purpose for me whatsoever. But I enjoyed that. But it's just really cool. I mean, you reflect back on like this guy's story. I mean, foster care system, joined the military right out of high school and did well. I think he's still in, actually. Follow him on Facebook. But yeah, let us know for sure about that graduation party.
I will. As soon as we're working on it right now. So as soon as we get a flyer, I'll send it. But I said I'm super excited that we're supporting 3 kids. It's just it's great.
And again, I mean, you do that where they can sign up for additional support after when they turn 18 or they age out. And like you said, that will help them with college. That'll get them set up in the adult life. And isn't that what happens with kids who are not in the foster system with their families? Hopefully,
yeah, it is, it's just sometimes nailing it to getting it through a 18-year-old head that this, don't, but they do. I want to couch surf and I'm going to figure this out, and life's hard. So get as much support as you
I'm waiting for it to get
can.
easier, Jenny. Are you waiting for that day when it just the easy button shows up? And you're like, oh,
remember I
just
told you
smooth sailing.
I went to school in Iowa City as a 42-year-old. I was on campus, and I was in there because I partied in high school. I was in the general requirement classes, and one of the girls came over to me one day, probably about 18, and she said, "What's it like now that it's all over?" I was 42.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Everything goes great.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
why I'm sitting in the college classroom in my 40s because everything's going really well.
Great.
Living the dream. But we'll have our May is Foster Appreciation Month. So we'll have appreciation picnics coming up. So if anybody wants to help support and donate things, and then we'll be rolling into back to school bashes come August. So like the world just keeps going.
And people can just cut a check.
You just got to check, and I will make sure it gets to where it needs to be because
and it's tax deductible, I would assume.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Liz is always in beast mode.
Beast mode.
Wow.
Liz, beast mode, Estilow. That's what I'm calling you from now on.
Beast mode, Estilow.
That'd be weird. Okay.
My kids might have an issue with that.
We'll come up with a different name. Who knows? No. All right, everybody, check out mygearoutreach.org. Find them on Facebook, facebook.com/mygearoutreach. Reach out to Liz, see how you can help support her amazing mission. She's been incredibly successful already, but we want to see her hang around forever. Jen, you got a busy rest of your week?
Oh, it's Monday. It's another great week. The weather's beautiful. Yes, got a lot going on. Going to be visiting a lot of our members this week and just doing what we do.
Soaking up some sunshine. If you can, get out there and stare at the sun. Well, not directly, but hang out in the warm glow of the sun for a couple minutes and get that natural vitamin D. It makes a world of difference. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe. Never miss an episode. Wherever you get your podcast, just search Grow Clinton podcast and you will find us. Until we talk again, folks, stay classy. See ya. Thank you for listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all your socials. Until next time, see ya.